The CMBA, as you know, is committed to delivering high quality, high value to our members across a variety of platforms, and that includes the insurance world. So we've teed up a dialogue today that we hope will replay throughout Greater Cleveland again and again and again, because we've got great news and we're dying to share it with all of our members. The conversation today is going to include two of my new best friends. Actually, one is an old best friend and the other is a newer best friend, but two great individuals who bring fantastic perspective and experience to the world of insurance. I'm going to share our screen here so that you can see their names as we get started here. So as we talk about insurance today, we've got two individuals joining me. And by the way, I should say I'm Becky Rupert McMahon, Chief Executive of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association. Joining me will be Al Rubosky from the great state of the Oswald companies, and also Chris Zerke, who is joining us from Roundstone. So to get started, what I wanted to do is to bring all of you viewers into a little bit of context before we dive into specifics. The CMBA, more than a decade ago, created an insurance agency, the Cleveland Bar Insurance Agency. And we did this through a partnership with our friends at the Oswald Company, who are one of the best in the insurance industry, not just here in Northeast Ohio, but across our state and beyond. And through that insurance agency, we've had a variety of offerings for our members, but to be blunt with you, it's been a little lagging. It's been a little slow in taking traction across our community. Part of that's on us, it's a marketing effort, but part of that is also because we needed some help from our members to help inform us about what you needed now in an insurance platform. And so to that end, in January, we launched a survey to all of our members. Hopefully those of you joining us today had a chance to fill out that survey, but we wanted to know what you think. What are your pain points? What are the opportunities? And what can we as a bar association do to better help you meet your needs? So what did the survey tell us? The survey told us that 62% of the folks who filled out the survey told us that they are currently satisfied with their health insurance plan that they have today as relates to their medical providers of choice. So the in-network folks, it sounds like things are pretty good. 55% of you told us that you're satisfied with the current level of customer service your current health plan is offering. 50%, just over 50%, told us they're satisfied with their current claims coverage and the processing of those claims. I would suggest that's not a great number. That's not a great number. And 35% of you said specifically that you are dissatisfied with how your current healthcare provider is managing your claims. And then here was the number that really jumped out at us. 60% of the survey respondents said they are dissatisfied with the current cost of their health insurance plans. That's a staggering figure. We also asked a question in the survey that said, what are the one or two most important features of any insurance plan that you would consider? And across the board, virtually everyone said cost and coverage. So high value and high quality coverage are the two most important pieces of your health insurance plan. So the good thing is we took that information that you gave us and real time, we went to our friends at Oswald and said, we need to amp up what we're doing in this health insurance space in particular and find a way to better serve our members. And guess what? Here comes Oswald to the charge, helping us build exactly that. So joining me today, we've got, as I mentioned, my friend Al Rubosky, who's joining us from Oswald. Al, welcome.
Thanks, Becky. Appreciate joining everybody today, and thanks for taking the time.
We're glad you're here. I got to say, if you are for our viewers, I would love for them to check you out on LinkedIn, because what they'll find out about you is not just that you've spent nearly a decade with Oswald as a benefits consultant, but you describe yourself. I love this. This is your title. We didn't plan this, but I love your title. Innovative benefits advisor who enhances value of benefits while controlling costs. It doesn't get better than that.
I appreciate that. And that's what I work hard to do for my clients every day. Do exactly that. And it sounds like based on those results from the survey, some of the work that we do could be impactful for member organizations and everybody within the CMBA. So I look forward to those opportunities.
Absolutely, Al. Thanks for being here. And I got a frog in my throat. I'm going with the green theme. So also joining us then is we've got Chris Zerke. And Chris is a long-term member of the Cmba and friend of our bar family. Chris, welcome, Mr. General Counsel Roundstone.
Well, thank you, Becky. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so glad that you are here. And Chris is somebody who, if you don't know it, he's a graduate of Cleveland Marshall College of Law. And in his current role as General Counsel of Roundstone, he's got a whole lot of responsibility. He came into that role with lots of powerhouse experience from past roles as the Chief Operating Officer and Senior Counsel at the Gertzberg Law Firm. And then he also was a past General Counsel for Corporate United. So Chris is here not only in his capacity as somebody who knows what's happening in the world of health insurance, but also as somebody who's been in the small business world. So I'm going to take a minute, and Chris, I would love to invite you to share your story a little bit with us in terms of your personal experiences in this realm as someone who's worked in small businesses and the state of health insurance.
Sure. Thanks, Becky. So when I was CEO of Gertzberg, right, I think one of the most interesting things or challenging things that I had to face was health insurance. It was our second largest expense item after payroll. But unlike payroll, the ability to control that and to understand that was a challenge. It would put a lot of pressure on our margins. And again, I think the challenge for us is we didn't understand how it works. So in my first year, we got a 19% increase upon our renewal. And when I went to the broker and tried to figure out why that was happening, the insight into that, there was none. I had no data on claims. I didn't have a great feel for how we were going to fix that. And it was extremely frustrating. And again, I think when I'm talking to some other lawyers at other firms, they were experiencing the same things. And so one of the challenges, right, for small to mid-sized companies is we buy fully insured insurance, which means we have zero control. We pay a high fixed cost. And your Fortune 1000 companies don't procure their insurance that way, right? They self-fund. And that's part of the reason Roundstone, by the way, was formed, was to help solve that problem.
So Chris, how did you find your way to Roundstone?
So it was some of the owners of Roundstone knew some people at Corporate United, both residing in the Rocky River area, and they kind of found their way to me. Right, that's kind of how it works sometimes. And again, my background wasn't in health insurance initially, so it was really interesting for me to go there. But it's been a great experience, and now I'm really passionate to helping law firms kind of solve that problem.
Fantastic, and that passion comes through. What I'd love to do is to come back to you, Al, and maybe we could talk a little more specifically as the guy who's been in the health insurance industry for quite a while. I'm interested in, and I'm going to bring up a slide here, if you can sort of talk us through some of what you hear about the common healthcare challenges that people report and what they're looking for when they're coming to Oswald and the Roundstones of the world looking for assistance. And let me, before you answer that, remind everybody who's joining us, as you're seeing this program live today, you are welcome to use the Q&A feature to ask any questions or to raise any comments that you might have that you want shared with the panelists. So Al, talk us through what you're hearing about common healthcare challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Becky. Yeah, I mean, a lot of what Chris just shared with everyone is what I hear from many organizations, especially in that size group where, you might not see traditionally claims data. You feel like you're on a hamster wheel almost every single year. You're just waiting to see what that renewal is going to look like. And you really have no solution to really unpack what's going on. You feel kind of almost, a victim to the process. And that's what I hear most often. And so, I think the opportunity will be, and you'll see this throughout, is how to really solve for a lot of those items.
One of the recurring challenges that I've heard that people have is they, as an organization, particularly law firm owners and COOs, is that they'll have what they think has been a year with very few, anecdotally, claims that they hear about from among their staff members and the folks who are covered by health insurance plans. They think they've been living a clean life. They think they've had very few health events, and they see dramatic increases, like what Chris described in terms of 19% for no reason. Those are tough things to navigate. And so I'm interested in sort of this, one of the items on your slide, Al, is this concept about lack of transparency being an issue. Yep. Help me understand, how does Oswald help tackle that issue?
Yeah, a couple different ways. Big part of it is this program we're going to talk about today provides a lot of a lot of difference from that perspective. So when you're, in a, we'll talk about what it means, but in this type of arrangement, you have full transparency on claims. You understand, what you're paying each month in terms of the cost of healthcare versus in a traditional sense, you pay your premiums every single month and you really have no idea what's happening behind the scenes.
So you mentioned costs. Let's look at these costs.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, over the last, let's call it 10, 15 years here, you see it, for a single family, including prescription drugs, costs have constantly gone up. And it's not something you haven't experienced as organizations being that you offer healthcare to your employees. But it's the challenge we all face right now. Cost in general in the healthcare space go up every single year as a rule of thumb. Cost of goods, cost of services, cost of new innovations, prescription drugs. And so, we're fighting that battle, but there's absolutely ways to fight and do it well.
So that takes us to introducing, right? I feel like we should have a drum roll here. If I was good at sound effects, I would have a brrr. So that's what takes us to the proposal that we have today that we are pushing out into our bar community, which is the Cmba Preferred Health Insurance Program. And I would say to you, as the CEO for the Bar Association, we don't take this lightly. You know that we offer a lot of services and a lot of benefits to our members. We work with a number of different vendors who provide various discounts and opportunities for our members, but we're very careful and very intentional. When we put our name and our reputation behind a program, it's after a whole lot of thought and a whole lot of intentionality. So I am delighted for us to be able to say that we've got a new and improved set of offerings in the health insurance space. So Al, how about if you dive in and start walking us through?
Absolutely. And the goal with this was to make this a one-stop shop place to go. So as a member, no matter what type of insurance you're looking for, today we're really going to focus on the healthcare piece. That is the important topic of today. But you can go to this website. We'll show you and get access to anything that you might need from an insurance perspective. But yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that we hear is the fact that when you do have a good year, number one, typically in a smaller group space, you don't know it. And number two, you have no reward from it. And so the really cool thing about this program is when you have a really good year, you're rewarded. You're actually going to earn money back. And when
wait, you got to pause and say that again.
Yeah.
You're going to earn money back if you have a good year.
Absolutely. You'll understand. So if you just simple numbers, you spend $100,000 in premium for a year, but only spend 80,000 in claims, that remainder is your money. That 20 grand is your money. And that's vastly different than most situations that folks find themselves into. And then in the tough years, because of the way this is structured, it's a group buying arrangement. So what that means is you have the power of thousands of other, people and hundreds of employers connected with you. That's going to protect you in those rough years. It's going to spread out that cost, spread out that risk, and reduce your volatility from a cost perspective as you move forward. Which again, Chris mentioned he got a 19% increase. I'm guessing the year before he might have gotten something different than that. And each year it's tough to budget for and project. So the opportunity here is to flatten that out, to create a sense of sustainability as well as opportunities for reward.
Fantastic. So as we head into the details of the plan, I got to say one of the most important features that I wanted to talk about and that you, Al, were so receptive to was making sure that all of our members have the potential to find coverage. Too often, what I hear is that the solo practitioners or the lawyers and staff who are working in smaller firms feel like they are really left out on their own.
Yep.
And they have to pay ridiculously expensive prices because they are by themselves. The first piece of our healthcare plan that I am delighted for you to talk about is really specifically what we are doing to help the 1 to 4 employee organization. So the solo practitioner, the solo plus 1 or 2 support staff. Al, talk us through what the details for that 1 to 4 group looks like.
Oh, absolutely. It's an opportunity where you can take advantage of a new strategy that became available sometime 2019, I believe it was June of 2019. And really the cool part about it is you can allow employees to access the individual market and still obtain all the tax advantages that come through that or from that that you might get on a typical group health insurance basis as an employer and as an employee. And you can, in a compliant way, compliance is important to everyone here, reimburse employees for those premiums. So conceptually, you have a 2-employee, company that typically might say, hey, you know what, we're going to give you a couple extra bucks to go buy healthcare. It's taxable income in that situation. In this case, you can set it up so it's pre-tax. You as an employer have the opportunity to get the tax benefit from it, and the employee themselves can also get that benefit. Now, mind you, I'm not an accountant. I'm not going to pretend to be, but those are key facets of this type of strategy. The short term for it is an ICRA. Oswald's created a really cool platform called Easy ICRA, but it's a strategy in which you can reimburse folks for individual healthcare on the individual market, whether it be Medicare or traditional individual healthcare. And we'll help you coach you through all that.
That's terrific. And again, I want to be clear, as people are interested in finding out more about Easy ICRA, and I love the name, as they get into it, there is no cost in terms of coming to you to ask for your help to start to evaluate what these different opportunities look like, right, Al?
Absolutely, yeah. That's first step is definitely, we'll show you the website at the end, but contact us, get engaged. We'll walk you through all of it. And this strategy is flexible, so while we're intending this for the smaller organizations today in this conversation, we can look at this for all size organizations, and it's a strategic initiative to do that. So the really cool part about this package we're offering today, this overall program, is there's multiple ways in which we can help.
One of the other benefits, Al, that I think comes from working through this kind of relationship is, so as you pointed out in the slide, these changes came about in June of 2019. Well, who knows what June of 2021 or June of 2022 or thereafter will provide. To create a relationship where you can have an ongoing dialogue, where you guys, Oswald, continue to be the experts and you help consult us as changes come down the pike, that's an invaluable resource.
Absolutely. We're here to do that. No question.
All right, so as we head out of the 1 to 4 group, we also then have specifics to talk about with respect to 5 to 20 employee organizations. Al, yep. I'm going to kick it back to you.
You got it. Yeah, this is really exciting, this opportunity. For groups of this size, you are traditionally finding yourself in what I really described before, and what Chris outlined as well in his experience. You don't have a lot of choice, you don't have a lot of flexibility, and you have to go through a lot of hoops to actually get proposals from the market. With our program here that we're showing you today, you have the opportunity to log into the website and put in a few data points, and you can get a quote instantly. So you can find out what your prices are going to be through this program, and this is your opportunity to jump into this, this powerful opportunity that we're creating for you. Like I said before, it's a group buying arrangement, and you're going to be finding the value in that strategy versus being out on your own as let's say a 10-employee company.
I love that you mentioned how easy it is. It really is 1, 2, 3. Get in, go to the website, answer some basic questions, choose your plan, and instantly you get a quote.
Yep, absolutely. And the cool part about it too is it's not just you get that quote and you're on your own to figure it out. When that happens, we will sit down and talk about the options, how it works, all the important things you need to know about how to ensure that the program is the right fit for you, and make sure that you feel comfortable as you move forward through it. So it's not just a situation where you go online and buy it and go. We're going to advise you throughout.
So Chris, I'm going to come back to you and say, so if you had this kind of a resource when you were wearing your COO or your GC role, could you have envisioned using this, and how would this be different from what you experienced?
Well, we would absolutely use this because at the size of my firm, we would have fit right into this bucket. And first of all, getting rid of form fire, right, is just a huge, especially right when you measure attorneys and billing by hour. I mean, that just sucks up time.
Yep.
And so that would have been a huge win for me as a COO to take something off their plate. But ease is great, and we absolutely would have done this, not only just for the ease, though, right? But I think, again, going back to being able to self-fund and seeing some of those returns on underwriting profit is a huge benefit. And will make any owner of a law firm happy.
And let me jump in real quick too. Sometimes folks get concerned about the concept of self-funding, because of maybe what they've experienced at other organizations and the way that it's approached in that way. We've set this up to be a situation where it will feel like you're in a traditional fully insured program where you pay a monthly premium and you have an idea what that cost is every single month. It's not going to change on you. And so, smaller organizations may not have that cash flow to be able to handle volatility. You would not have that volatility in this case. But you have the upside of a self-funded program where when you do perform well, that money is yours. It's not going to be given back to that carrier, or the carrier is not going to keep it as you move forward. And you have the opportunity to earn surplus reimbursements from the what's called a captive, which is the group buying arrangement that we've built.
Great. Okay, so we've talked about the 1 to 4s, the 5 to 20s. Well, and then, but wait, there's more. For the larger organizations with more than 20 employees, we've also got a solution for you.
Absolutely. Yep. And the great part here is you have even more flexibility than you would have had at that 5 to 20 size. So everything we've talked about already fits right in with these groups, anybody over 20 employees. But in this situation, you have even more ownership of your program. You have more choice, more flexibility, and control. So essentially, you have the opportunity to build the program exactly how you want it, and it will be priced accordingly. So you will not be, again, in a situation where maybe in the fully insured world where you have whatever United Healthcare or Anthem or Cigna, whomever you might be working with, they have a certain number of options for you. You have to choose those and move forward, and the pricing that goes with it. In this case, we can build it however it fits your needs, and get you moving forward from that perspective.
And I know that you brought, oh yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I think one question that I do get asked a little bit though is, does Oswald have a program? Does Roundstone have a program? I just want to make sure it is a joint program between Roundstone, Oswald, and the Bar Association.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Program.
Yeah, great point.
Not competing programs out there.
You bet. Yeah, the collaboration was the key in this one. It took all of us to sort of put our heads together and to think about what are our members looking for, where are the needs, what are Oswald's offering, and what are Roundstone. So great point, Chris. It is a collaboration through and through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess to elaborate on that a little more, this is proprietary and unique to Cleveland Bar. So, this structure, this entire package is something you will not be able to access anywhere else in the market.
Absolutely. I think you brought for us a case study that I thought would be really helpful for you to talk us through, Al.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so this addresses a lot of the things we've talked about, but this organization has about 25 employees, and they were for years in a traditional fully insured program. They were paying premiums to the carrier. They had some good years and some not so good years, and when they had those good years though, they did not get any of that money back. The carrier kept that money, and so they decided to switch to this strategy we're speaking to today, a group captive through Roundstone. And by doing so, over a 5-year period, they were able to save almost $600,000 compared to what they would have been had they stayed in a fully insured agreement. And they were able to do that through a number of different ways. It was claims that they did not spend, in terms of dollars and cents that would have been spent otherwise. They earned surplus back. So as part of this program, when the captive performs as expected, typically 10 to 15% in a surplus every single year, you as an organization get a piece of that back. So whatever percent you pay in, you get your percent back, regardless of your claims activity that year. And the other cool part is, when I mentioned, earlier, Becky actually mentioned it for me, the role that I take with clients is how do I maintain, boost the value of benefits and control cost. This group specifically had no increased out of pocket for their employees. So think about over a 5 or so year period where you tell your employees, hey, we're not changing the network. We are not increasing your out of pocket cost. And, as an organization, you're actually earning money back and actually saving compared to what you might have done otherwise. So just a great example of the value of this strategy.
Well, as a chief executive who's in the middle of business plan building and budgeting for our next fiscal year, which kicks off in July 1, I can say that if I had the opportunity to look forward and find a way to achieve these kinds of savings, which would improve my cash flow and create an environment where my employees have nothing in terms of a negative impact. In fact, they're getting additional benefits. This would be a no-brainer for me, a no-brainer. So listen, so the good thing is that we are ready to move, right? This is not about something that's coming down the road. This is a platform that is ready immediately. So, and we've put together a website, which I'm going to show in just a second, which blends together the insurance offerings that Oswald has both in this health insurance arena, and we'll take a second to show you beyond the health insurance, other opportunities that our members might consider. But to summarize, we are incredibly excited to be able to provide solutions for the 1 to 4 solo, smaller firm, the 5 to 20 organization. And by the way, you don't have to be a law firm. This is available for any member of the Cmba. We know that we have over 250 business affiliate members. You too qualify for this opportunity to get involved and to get your personal quote for what might make sense for your organization. And then, of course, we can also help the larger organizations who have more than 20 employees. I'm going to stop sharing for a second while I do that. I'd love to hear a little bit, Al. We've talked a lot about cost. We've talked about controlling costs. Let's talk a little bit about quality. Sure. In terms of the offerings in general. We saw from our own survey that we sent to our members that the quality of coverage is in addition to cost, is the other factor that's most important to our members. Talk to me about the quality of offerings that our members are going to see.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with network access, making sure your doctors and the hospital systems that you prefer are available to you. And the network that's utilized is Cigna. And, Cigna's network is nationwide. Here in the Northeast Ohio area, you can access basically every hospital system and every physician group or independent physician in this area. So it's widely recognized as a great network and a great makes it greatly available to anyone who might need a specific doctor or specialist that they're looking for. And then in terms of that, I mean, your quality is the value you place in your relationship with your doctors. So our goal is to always make sure that you have access to the primary care doctors and hospitals that are going to allow you to get the best service and best quality. We have great hospital systems in Cleveland specifically, and we're very lucky that way, and throughout the state as well. So it allows us to have great access to care in that way.
Fantastic. All right, so let's take a look at the website. I hope can you see it? Did I share right?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks, Al. A little reinforcement is always helpful. So this is our website. And this is accessible. We'll send out the direct link. You can also, this is directly accessible on the Bar Association's main website. But what you'll see is, and this is the home page, where you'll see the welcome and the introduction from us to you, our members, with a brief description of our partnership with Oswald. And you'll see here in these there are 4, I can count. I haven't had my St. Patty's Day beer yet. In these 4 different buckets of opportunity, we have the preferred health insurance program. And then you'll see these 3 other potential buckets where we have professional liability insurance, surety programs, and life insurance programs. You can access the health insurance platform simply as easy as pushing a button, and you'll see what hopefully looks familiar with description about the health insurance program and how you can get started immediately. Al, anything you want to add about what people will find on this part of the website?
Yeah, sure. So before, the previous page actually showed a button where you could actually click here, and, we're all pressed for time in this world. And, I have a link where you can just schedule time with me, without even contacting me, without even calling me or emailing me. So if you click here, it'll pull up the calendar.
Started.
Yeah. And you can schedule time if you just want to talk, first. I'm happy to do it, whether it's 15 minutes, a half an hour, whatever it takes. Happy to take that time with you. And then, on the following page that, we just left, on the health insurance program side, this is where you can literally get that, instant quote. So if you go down to the 5 to 20 page, Becky, or section of the page, hit instant quote. It takes you to the next steps to get a quote. And this is the cool opportunity that I mentioned before, where in Chris's example, form fire, everybody hates form fire. It's a frustrating, situation where you have to ask your employees to complete medical questions, et cetera. This gets you out of that. You go here, you go through this couple pages of web content and fill in some stuff, and you're ready to roll. So forgive my simplicity, but I want to make sure you understand that's exactly what it is. It's just very easy. Yeah, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you.
Absolutely. And it works just the same whether you're in the 20 plus or back again in the 1 to 4.
Correct. Yeah, we just ask you to fill out a little bit of information, and we'll get connected with you and help you get positioned in the right place.
Yep. And of course, as always, if anybody's looking for some additional resource, Al's contact information is back on the first page so that you can reach out directly. I also welcome you to contact me. As you go forward, our members thinking about and evaluating these programs, I sure would love your feedback. Tell us what you like. If you have some constructive feedback, we'll take that too. And if you want to meet for a beer, let me know, because I can do that as well. But really, as we go forward, this plan is going to continue to evolve. The beauty of a partnership is that we are in this for the long run. So if we identify opportunities for improvement, it'll come back to the collaborative and we will real-time improve. But I got to tell you, I think we got a pretty good layout here on the health insurance piece. And then I would also point back, these are not newer, but we are amping up our awareness building and our education on the other CMBA insurance programs that are available. Al, I don't know if you want to just touch on, I know they're not your area of expertise, but a little bit of high overview in terms of additional offerings.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And thank you. We're lucky here at Oswald to have some really just awesome people to work with, experts in their field, specialists that do, these specific things. And folks like Chris Kakich, Mark Rader, and Mario Mastriani, each of these folks would individually help you in these particular areas and cater to your specific needs. And so it's just exciting to be able to have that type of partnership with my colleagues. And, I look forward to having those opportunities to introduce these folks to you.
Hear, hear, I agree. And speaking of partnership, though, I got to say that the building of this plan, the responsiveness that you, Al, and Chris at Roundstone, that you all have shown these last several weeks, once we got the feedback from our members, it's just been tremendous. So if you're looking to individually follow up, again, we showed you on the website where you can reach Al directly, but in case you want to follow up right now, you can contact him directly at his phone number listed on the screen, or you've got his email address. And then ditto, you are also welcome to reach out to Chris Zerke directly at Roundstone, and we've got his contact information. I know that you are both available anytime, any place, just about, except when family vacations come, right, Chris? We won't interrupt the Zerke household.
Well, sometimes it happens, but anytime.
Okay, inside joke, Chris Zerke is a member of our bar family. There's a Heather Zerke, for those members who are familiar, who happens to be the general counsel for the Cmba. So we are delighted to continue to expand our partnership with the Zerkes. But more importantly, we are delighted to expand the more than a decade relationship that we've had with our friends at the Oswald companies, and to bring in this partnership that I should say, Oswald, you guys had this partnership with Roundstone before we did. So you've been working with Roundstone for years, have you not, Al?
Absolutely. Yeah. The really cool part about that is we've got multiple partnership programs with Roundstone, and that allowed us to be able to bring this to you all. And it's just really exciting for us. And Becky, I really do appreciate the opportunity. We thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, Chris, didn't mean to stop. Hey, my pleasure. I mean, it is wonderful. I've said a million times in the 25 plus years I've lived in Cleveland, it's not 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon separation. It's about 1.2 degrees of separation in Cleveland. So it was a natural that we would all find each other and really build something, as you said, Al, that is customized for our membership. And as Chris, as you said, that is going to be a real game changer for not only the bigger organizations, but the smaller organizations.
Yes.
So let me offer my thanks. Any final words, Chris, that you want to share?
No, I think as you mentioned, if anyone has questions on self-funding or what captives really mean, it's because they're newer terms. If you're not familiar with it, I'm glad to talk about it.
Terrific. Al, any final words from you?
Just the same. I think, there's a lot of some new terminology we've thrown out there and things like that. Happy to chat with anybody, as I mentioned before. And again, I just really want to thank everybody for the opportunity to partner with you all.
Terrific. Well, listen, again, my thanks to Oswald and to Roundstone. It is a great partnership that we've just doubled down on, and we're looking forward to being able to push this out. Again, it's live right now. So for those of you who have immediate interest in jumping on that website, you can do it directly. It's cmba-oswald.com. And again, look on our website as well as on social media. We'll be engaged in a major campaign to raise people's awareness about how you can find us. But we're looking forward to meeting you where you need us now and in the future. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Al and Chris, until we meet again.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.